Alright, here we go. Hello YouTubers, and I am back with another video review. Now today I'll be reviewing the game Phantasy Star Portable for the Sony PSP. And normally I go through the whole review and then I tell you at the end my opinion of whether or not you should rent, buy, or pass the game that I was reviewing. Today I'll be doing something a little different. To save time, if some of you are like in a hurry on whether or not you want to buy the rent or pass on this game, I'm gonna tell you right now so that you know you should definitely buy this game because it is very good. It's very good. The combat is solid, the graphics are amazing, and the story could have been better, but we'll get to that once I get into the review. Like I said, buy it. Stop the review right now if you are in a hurry and you just wanted to know whether or not you should buy it. Definitely buy it, and if you're gonna stick around, then here goes the review. So, as I was saying, I'm going to start with the bad points because there are not quite that many bad points, so I'm going to start with the bad points and then tell you the good points. So, the bad points, as I was saying, the story could have been better. I found it kind of dull in a few areas. Some of them were okay, some of them not so much, but yeah, it's decent. The story is decent if you could get past all of the other stuff that I'm sure you will find if you buy this game. Yeah, and another thing that is really my only complaint with the game is that there really isn't that much to do on certain levels. Like, you enter a level and there are not like that many breakable objects. There's an area, you defeat the monsters, and then you move on to the next one. There's no, how you say, like multiple miniature areas where you can go, secret small areas where you can go and find like rare crates to destroy and find certain items. That's really the only the only complaint I have about the game. Now, to get to the good points is that the game, as I said, looks, sounds, and feels awesome when you play it. The combat is solid. It's not very complicated and it's not very simple. So it's not too complicated and it's not too simple. That's what I wanted to say. So like I was saying, the combat's not too complicated and too simple, considering that you only basically use to attack the square and the triangle button. Now, you use a square and the triangle button to attack, but you sort of like have to like start the second attack after you use the first attack with the square. Like, you have to pause and click it at a certain time when you attack so that you can get a critical hit. Because okay, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna stop rambling. You click square the first time, and then when the action sort of ends, you have to time it right so that when you click it for the second, third, and fourth strike, you see this circle appear around your character, so that after you have those, you can see if you attack an opponent that the damage will be more substantial than it would have been if you just normally tapped it fast. So that's another handy feature that I find that I like that they added in the game. One other bad point is that when you are doing this critical strike thing, whatever it's called, is that sometimes you can't quite see what level of the attack it is if you have like 3 other players with you, because you can't quite see because they are all around you sometimes. So that's kind of an annoyance, but yeah, it's really minor comparing to its being so good in other areas. So to get to the other things, circle, you keep pressed to switch weapons and to use certain items to restore your health or restore the ammo of your guns and stuff like that. And yes, X you press to pick up certain items. The R bumper you use to aim the gun, like you can have a a one-handed sword and a gun equipped to your left hand, and you press the R to switch from the sword to the gun. So that's what the R is used for. If you don't have a gun or a sword, one-handed sword equipped, then you will basically not use the R left bumper at all. Now the left bumper you will definitely use a lot because you use it to lock onto enemies. You keep it pressed. That's the default setting. You can set the settings to click, where you just click it and you automatically lock on, and you stay locked on until you press it again, so that you lock off of the enemy and you can move around faster. Now, the other buttons, the directional D-pad buttons, are used to basically control the camera. And the analog stick is obviously used to control your character. And that's basically, oh yeah, to enter, you're basically viewing your character in a third-person view perspective. But if you press the select button, then you enter if you have a gun equipped. Even if you don't have a gun equipped, you'll also go into first-person view, even if you don't have a gun equipped. As I said, you have a sword, you'll just enter a first-person view, and you can turn the camera with the analog stick and look in all directions. And this is useful when you have a gun, but sometimes when you don't have a gun and you have a sword equipped, it's kind of annoying if you accidentally press select, but it's not that big of an annoyance. So, another things that are good is, you're going to like this, is that the weapons are, how you say, crazy. They're crazy because they are very awesome. They're awesome looking, some are very powerful. Almost all of them are very good looking and awesome because they are, well, they're swords, and they look swords, guns, spears, stuff like that. Okay, I'm gonna give you a basic rundown of the types of weapons, and I'm not even sure I'm gonna be able to mention them all. Okay, so you have your basic one-handed sword, your basic two-handed sword, your axe, your spear, your fists that you have on your character's hands to hit opponents, and then there are batons where have blades on either side of the weapon. You have crossbows, you have bows, you have grenade launchers, you have rifles, you have daggers, you have dual blades, you have almost anything you could wish for in a fighting game like this. And it's a very deep game if you want it to be, because the first few seconds when you play the game, you'll be going through tutorials and such, and when your character, when you start out, is, you know, weak. But once you level him up, when I'm right now at level 27, I think it was, I am finding that I love the game and I can't wait to play it again. So, as I said, yeah, at the start it's kind of slow, but once you level up your character, it'll become such a blast that you won't know how to free up enough of your time to play a bunch of this game, because you will definitely be hooked if you like it. And let me think, another thing that is good. Oh yeah, right, you can also buy armor for your character, which also increases the defense, dodging, and accuracy. And you can also, which is a nice touch because in certain games you can't do this, is that you can change your character's outfits. There is a wide variety of different outfits that you can choose from in the game, and to incorporate so much clothing in the game is awesome. Although one thing that I found kind of annoying is that if you make your character a certain height, and you like find a swimsuit on the battlefield that an enemy drops, and it says has an X next to it, that means that you won't be able to equip it because it's not your size for your character. So that's kind of annoying, but it makes sense, because if every swimsuit was capable for every person, that would have kind of, well, yeah, that would kind of, how you say, collapse your inventory. If you kept having swimsuits, you wouldn't have room for weapons and such. So yeah, that's a nice touch they have, because once you equip an outfit, you see the outfit. It's not like you equip something and they say it's, let's say, a t-shirt and you had like a sleeveless shirt before and they say it's a t-shirt, but you don't see it on your character. They just say you have a t-shirt equipped and now your character has a t-shirt, but only the characters in the game see it. No, you can see it too, which is a nice touch because some games you can't customize your character's look at all. So another thing that I can tell you is that when you start out, you create your character, you give him certain clothes and certain hairstyles and features that you can later in the game buy with Mesta, I believe is what the currency is called in the game. And you can go to different makeover places. Actually, there's only one makeover place, but it's nice that you can change the face of your character whenever you want in the game, provided you have enough currency in the game to change your outfit and your look. And that's basically it, I think. Except, like I mentioned, the story mode is not as interesting as it could have been, but that's not really that bad considering how good the rest of the game is. Another thing that I remembered is that the camera sometimes can be kind of a pain when you battle enemies that can fly. I beat 2 bosses so far that were flying and they really were annoying with the camera because I kind of always had to stop, look with the camera, and then attack the enemy. But yeah, it's really minor things that are wrong with this game to how much is actually good. So like I said at the start of this review, I'd recommend it as a buy, a must-have for the PSP if you have a PSP. And sorry if I did not give you this before, but I kind of forgot. At the end of every video from now on, I'll try to put in the please subscribe and like my reviews if you want and if you like them. And like always, I'll see you on the next video review.